Greetings, I'm Barrington. Welcome to Meet Me at the Table. Today we are venturing where no man has gone before. That's right, we are boldly going into Star Trek Alliance, the cooperative miniatures game. I'm a huge sci-fi fan. Star Trek, Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica, you name it. I'm a huge fan of anything that's sci-fi, and this game is right up my alley. This is a cooperative miniatures game that has a complete Dominion War campaign built into it, and we're going to play through the first scenario in this game, and I'm going to explain everything and how this game works, and then we're going to see how the scenario plays out. Hopefully we can make it through and move on to the next one. In this campaign book, there are seven or eight scenarios. There's an introductory scenario. I actually think it's about 6. And then there's 5 in Act 2, and then there is an Act 3. There's 1 in there. On top of that, there is a whole nother box that is going to continue the Dominion War. That is the second box, and there's a third box coming in August that's going to bring even more to this. Of course, every box will allow you to have more players in the game and give you different varieties of ships that you're going to be fighting against. This is an AI-driven system when it comes to how they are going to react to you, but we get to decide everything about our ships, which is super cool. For those of you that have played, for example, X-Wing or the Star Trek Attack Wing game, the mechanics are super similar to it. There's really not much they've changed. The only difference is how the AI is going to react to what you're doing, and you're going to see how that all plays out in the battle. I'm super excited to bring Star Trek Alliance, the cooperative miniatures game, the Dominion War campaign, to you. And if you're excited to see this, then I need you to meet me at the table. The first thing we're going to do when playing our game is we are going to decide what faction we're going to be. We are going to be the Federation. In the core game, the only thing you really can be is the Federation. Though if you do have attack wing ships, it says you can bring them in, but certain ones need a certain amount of skill that you're going to be able to accumulate during the game in order to bring those ships in, because they just might be a little bit too powerful for the balance of the game, from what I understand, but I could be wrong. Anyway, these are going to be the ships we're going to play with. These are the ones that come in the core game. We have the Excelsior class and we have the Akira class ships. And we're going to quickly go over what you see here, starting with this ship right here. The first thing we do is we're going to grab our captain. He's right here. I haven't named him. We'll have to figure out a name for our captain, but then you have 6 experience points to spend at the beginning of the game. Notice that in this box here, it's blank. A lot of the times there'd be little abilities or something that you might have for your ship, but in this game they are blank. These are going to be the values we have. This is attack, this is going to be evasion, this is our hull, and those are our shields, and these are going to be all the different actions we can perform after we maneuver, and you'll see how that goes during the game. And these are upgrade slots. Based on what upgrades we can have, we can only have up to these type of upgrades and those symbols of upgrades. So if we look at some of the upgrade cards, for example, this one, it does have this symbol right down here, so that means I'm able to equip one of those. Where I have one of these cards, I could equip up to 2 of those, but of course we have to pay for them with the experience points that we have. The 2 that I've chosen for this particular ship are going to be the Operations Officer and the Enhanced Targeting, and those are going to cost certain experience points right down here. So for example, in order to get those, we have to spend those experience points in order to be able to buy them. Now, that means we're going to take these little cubes. You can write on this if you want. I don't feel like writing on it, so I'm just going to put a 4 there. We're going to put a 2 here and a 0 in our Science Officer. And for the very first mission, you're not allowed to use experience points in skill. This is going to be your captain's skill, and that is going to be deciding the order of operations as we move forward. So we have our ship all set to go. Every ship does come with a maneuver dial that you're able to set to the type of maneuver you want to do. The maneuvers on this dial are actually shown right here, so you know exactly what your ship can do. And if you notice, some of them are white, red, and green. And the red ones are going to be more difficult to do, which is going to leave your ship without actions and having to take an auxiliary power token, which is this one right here. In order to get rid of those tokens, you have to do a green maneuver. And if you have an auxiliary token at the end of your movement, you're not able to perform an action, which are pretty vital to the way your characters are going to survive in this game. But sometimes it's best to do those red maneuvers because you need to get out of there. I've placed 2 of our shields right here. As we go forward with this game, you might get shot, you're going to lose these shields. there are potentially situations where they're disabled, which means you'd flip them over. That doesn't mean that they're gone. They're only gone for that turn. At the end of the turn, you're able to get those back. But shields that are shot and attacked and hit against your ship, those are going to get removed. You'll see how that goes during the playthrough. Let's quickly take a look at the upgrades that we've given this particular ship. The first one is our operations officer. So at the end phase, I can spend a evasion token to be that is beside the ship to repair one shield of that ship. So that's how we're going to hopefully get some of these shields back. The other one is our enhanced targeting. When attacking, this ship may re-roll one attack die. I think that's going to be really good. Now, of course, those are 2 slots taken up. If we're able to put another slot on, the only thing we could do would be some type of weaponry type slot. As we level our ship up, though, if we go through skill and we get more skill, we're able to add more of those icons to this ship based on what this card is. And the more numbers we have here, the higher we can get some of these cards. So, for example, we can maybe get 2 of these, or not exactly 2 of these. We could add another weaponry to it if we had more experience in weaponry. I will say I have played a lot of X-Wing back in the day, so this game is very similar to it, and I'm already calling myself out with some of the things I'm going to say. I apologize. This is not an evasion token. In X-Wing, it is an evasion token. This one, it's an evasive maneuvers token. So I may call the tokens by the wrong names, but what they do is very similar to the other game, so I apologize if I do that. So we'll keep going. Hopefully I don't make too many mistakes like that. The next ship we have is going to be our Excelsior class ship. This, of course, is a maneuver dial. I just put it out there so you can see all the different things that this one can do. As you can see, this one can actually back up, which is kind of interesting. It starts with 3 shields, but I have an extra 2 shields because I'm going to give it this upgrade in 4 shields, which add +2 to the shield value. Now, this is going to cost me 3, and this is going to be in this particular slot here. So we'll place one of those cubes on that one. That's going to be the yellow one here. That's all I got, yellow. So we're going to put 3 into that one. The other one I have is overcharged phasers. This one, when attacking with this ship, the primary weapon, the roll 1 extra attack die. Now, it doesn't mean I have to be at range 2 in order for this to actually take effect, but this is going to cost me 3 in that category. So I'm going to put a 0 here and 3 here. So we have spent all 6 of our experience points on these 2 particular cards. Interestingly enough, this ship can actually equip a whole bunch of stuff. It can equip crew, technical, and weaponry if it wants to. It has a whole bunch of things on its bar already. So now that we have our 2 ships and we've gained all of our experience points and spent our squadron points, which is what you spend in order to get these cards, we're going to move into the actual campaign. So let's read about what's going on and we'll see if we can make it through. So here's where I'm supposed to do my best Captain Kirk impression, but I'm not going to because I'm not very good at impressions. So it says here, stardate 49427.7. The year is 2371 and the Federation faces a new and very dangerous threat from the Gamma Quadrant. Much is still unknown about our aggressors, the Jem'Hadar. During our last excursion through the wormhole in 2370 to recover Commander Sisko from Jem'Hadar soldiers, the Federation suffered the loss of the Galaxy-class vessel, the USS Odyssey. That it was the result of a suicide run by a Jem'Hadar attack ship only confirms the Dominion's resolve. We still have interest in the Gamma Quadrant and must work to avoid further direct confrontation with the Dominion while we prepare to face this threat. Our first act is going to be a simple patrol introduction. For those of you that don't know, this is the Dominion War, and that is set in the world of Star Trek in Deep Space Nine. I believe the Dominion War starts in season 6, but of course there is kind of an overarching story behind in Deep Space Nine, so it does have some roots earlier in the episodes, and it goes pretty much all the way up to the end from if I remember how the Dominion War worked. But I believe it started in season 6. Could be completely wrong. It's been a while since I've seen Deep Space Nine, and I probably need to go back and watch it because it's one of the greatest Star Trek series when you get to this point. It's like super good. Super, super fun. There's a huge war, and we're about to be part of it. Stardate 4942.7. Congratulations on your promotion, Captain. With the discovery of the wormhole into the Gamma Quadrant and the results of our first contact with the Dominion last year, Starfleet Command has decided to form a special task force. You and several other captains have been chosen for this assignment. Your objective today is to patrol the far side of the wormhole and learn what you can of the Gamma Quadrant. If you encounter Dominion ships, your orders are to stand your ground, but avoid escalating the situation into a major confrontation. Now, each mission is going to have a setup that you have to do, and it'll tell you everything you're going to need to know going forward. For example, the first marker here is A, and that's going to be where our players are going to deploy, so we can deploy anywhere along that line. The next is B, and this is that little white box in there. We're going to place 6 random asteroids, and they must be less than or greater than 2 from the board edge, and they have to be at least one apart, range apart, and I will show you how that works when we get to the board setup. And next, we're going to have to put mission tokens odd numbers and mission tokens even numbers. So there's one D and C. Our mission parameters are as follows. We have to collect sensor data. So we're going to collect at least one of those odd numbers and one of those even numbers from tokens C and D respectively. Then we have to return to the bottom edge of that map, which is the Federation edge, and escape. We're going to get an experience for each mission token we're able to get out, and we're going to be able to retreat if we need to from the Federation edge if things get a little bit too dicey. Maybe only get one of them. That might be okay. And at the end of round 10, if we're still on the board, we automatically retreat. And if anybody is destroyed, they get 1 fewer experience to a minimum of 0, which is super bad. I'd hate to get 0. That's no fun. Now, of course, the success and failure you see down here, that's more story, and we'll read that after the mission is over. Now, this is the cool thing about this game. It shows you how you're going to set up the bad guys, where they're going to be, and what you're going to have to do about them. So we do have Dominion wings coming in. We have 1st, 2nd, 3rd, Alpha, and the 4th wing. It tells you what round they're going to come in. So ours, we're going to have at the beginning here, setup is going to come in on bearing 3 and 4, and their orders are going to be to attack. And it's going to show as a 2-player game, there's going to be one that comes in on 3 and one that comes in at 4. Now, if you own multiple copies of this game and are playing up to, let's say, 4 players over here, the setup for this would be actually 2 Jem'Hadar attack ships coming in on 3 and 2 coming in on 4. And they would be placed in a squad, and that squad would maneuver together until they take hull damage. Then at that point, they would all separate and do their own maneuvers going forward. But until that happens, you fly them as a squad, which is really cool and it looks super neat on the board. Now, of course, we're only playing with 2 players, so we're not going to be able to see that in action, but do know that happens. Notice down here, there is an elite version of these Jem'Hadar attack ships, and this little thing here shows that that type of ship will be coming in. Now, of course, that's going to come in at 3, and we're going to have to roll to see where the bearing for that is coming in. And when I'm talking about the bearings, that's these numbers right here. I failed to mention that when I was originally showing the map. So we're going to have one start here and one start here. These dotted lines are the exact measurements of our range ruler. So for example, this one is going to come in after 3 of these particular markings are there. And I'll show you that in just a second. So as you can see, I've placed our range ruler down, and he is going to come in exactly halfway across this one. So that's where our first person is going to fly in. Now, if we were in a squadron, they'd be put side by side together, with this being the exact middle point of that squadron. So, and down here, I've put down one of our tokens we need to try to pick up, and we'll see how we do that. But I have also laid out the other one on the other side of the map in the exact same way. So they're both ready to go. Now, if we even added more ships to this, you wouldn't add them side by side. You'd add them in kind of a 4 squad formation, and hopefully we never have that many on the board, because I don't know how we'd ever take that out. I've placed out our 2 tokens, but do know that in order to gain our tokens, we have to have a scan token assigned to our ship, and then we have to be within range 1 at the end of our activation phase to spend that token to be able to collect it and place it down on our card. And we want to try to get both of these and get out of here. If a player carrying one of the mission or more tokens is destroyed, then we have to return its mission token to the supply. So we do want to, so multiple people can gain these tokens, because it's just technically odd tokens versus even tokens. They're not just 2 tokens out there. There are odd numbered tokens out there and even numbered tokens. So both of us could pick these tokens up and try to get out if we want to, but we'll see if that happens. We're able to place our ships anywhere along the board edge, but it has to be, again, within range 1 of this particular range ruler. So I'm going to place our Excelsior class there, and I'm going to place my Akira class over here. We're going to kind of at least fly together the best we can for at least hopefully a little while. And this one has more shields, so hopefully that one can maybe soak up a little bit of the damage, and hopefully this one can maybe take some of these Jem'Hadar out. We'll see how it all plays out. Let's get to flying. Now, not only have I placed out our ships over on this side and our Jem'Hadar ships up there, but I have all the asteroids out there as well, and those, like I said, had to be at least 2 from the board edge and they couldn't be one within each other, like next to each other. So I had to give a little bit of space to them. And I will strongly apologize for the board that you see in front of me. I know in theory you're never supposed to be crossing Star Wars and Star Trek, but sadly with all the X-Wing I used to play, this is the only mat I have that is a legal map for this particular type of game. So I apologize ahead of time. When I bought it, after I did, I should have bought just a straight normal Starfield, but I didn't. I thought it was super cool to have a Death Star out there while I'm flying my ships around, but now looking at it, I should have gone with just a star map. So I apologize for the big giant Death Star and Yavin 4 out here on the board when we're playing Star Trek. I hope you can forgive me and are going to be able to continue watching, even though I have done something that you almost should never do. So there you go. We have our asteroids out there and we have our ships. Now we're going to start flying. We'll go through the order of operations and see how it goes. Don't worry, I'll keep everything panned in really close so you won't even know the Death Star's there. Here's the order in which we're going to be going through our turn here. We're going to start with the reinforcement phase where we're going to place AI ships listed by the mission. Now remember, when we get to like the farther into this mission, when it comes to our turn dial here, like into 3 and 4 or something, we're going to be gaining more ships onto the board, and those are going to come in during the reinforcement phase. Then we're going to be planning. That is going to be where we're going to be setting our dials to decide how we want to do this. Now, of course, this is a cooperative game, so you're going to be able to talk with your friends and figure out what you want to do. Now, if you are playing this competitively, obviously you do not tell each other what you're planning to do because you want to blow them up. Next, then we're going to do our action phase. In ascending order of captain skill, each ship executes a chosen maneuver and then immediately performs one action. And I'll show you those actions in just a second. Once all of the action phase has been completed, we'll go to the combat phase, and then in descending order of captain skill, each ship can attack one target in its firing arc and within range. Then we'll move to the end step where we're going to see if our mission is over. We're going to recover any disabled shield tokens, and those are only going to be the ones that are turned over, not the ones that have been removed from damage that we have taken. Then we're going to remove all the other tokens we did not use during the game, and then ships may keep their shields disabled in order to keep this is what's called a cloaking token. We're not going to be using that in this game. We don't have any Klingons or Romulans or anything, or we don't have the Defiant or anything that has a cloaking ability. Here are 3 of the different actions we can do. One is an evasive maneuver. We can gain an evasive maneuver token, which one we'll place that next to our ship. During the combat phase, I can spend this to add an evasion to the dice, and that is going to help us mitigate damage. When we roll our dice, we're either going to see this symbol, or this symbol when it comes to defending. And this is going to help us mitigate damage coming in. We're going to evade it, where this is going to be a battle station symbol. When we gain a battleship token during the combat phase, I can spend it to change it into either a evasion, or if we're attacking, they also are going to be on the attacking dice, and you can turn those into hits. So that is, but we have to spend the token in order to do that. And when you do spend the token, you get to change all of them. So say you fired this shot and you have 3 hits and 2 of those, you could spend 1 token to flip both of those to actual hits. So battle station tokens are pretty good. Now, of course, there is the other token, the scan token, which we need for our missions. On top of that, during the combat phase, any ship attacked by the scanning ship rolls 1 less defense die. Then we have 1 more that we can do, and that's this. We can acquire a target lock. We'll gain the red version of the target lock, and the enemy will gain, the blue token, and the enemy will gain the red token, and that is symbolizing who you've target locked. And you can place these tokens on any opposing ship within the range 1 to 3 that have been cloaked for more than 1 turn cannot be target locked. And again, we're not going to worry about cloaking ships because we don't have any of those. Attacking a targeted ship with the target lock, you can spend it to reroll any of these attack dice. Now, these are the standard actions you can do. Those cards that we have in any of the upgrade tokens may use these tokens in different ways. For example, we do have this one right here where we could spend of that evasive maneuver token beside the ship if I haven't used it during the combat phase to repair one of the shields on the ship. So there are other ways to use these tokens if you have those in your possession. Also, certain ships are not able to do certain things. This is our Excelsior class ship. It does have all 4 of those that you can do, and our Akira class also has all 4 that we can do. So we are going to be able to take advantage of any of the 4 that I've explained already. there are other ships out there that we could potentially fly that may not have some of those and may have other ones in place of it. Having talked to myself at long length, I think our best bet is just to fly forward. We need to get to this token and we need to get there fast. Remember, I've only got a certain amount of rounds in order to collect these tokens and get back to this side of the board edge. And of course, I don't want to be blown up by either one of these ships. That'd be absolutely terrible. So we have 2 ships, and I think the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fly forward with our Excelsior class ship. We'll just place the dial right next to it. There's different ways you can do that. Some people place this back on top of the card so you have it there. Others place it out on the board. We're going to put it on the board for now. We'll kind of probably go back and forth, and we're going to go forward 4 with him as well. I thought about maybe going 3 because I think I want him to take most of the fire at first because he has those extra shields, but I don't know. I think just getting there as fast as we can might be the best bet. At this point, we're going to have to decide now what the Jem'Hadar are going to do. And going from ascending order, we are going to start with the person with the lowest captain skill, and our Jem'Hadar attack cruisers only have a 1 captain skill, where both of our characters start with 2. So these are going to move first, and we have to figure out what they're going to do, and it's all found on this ship. And as you gain more of these different boxes that have ships in them, they are going to have different maneuvers based on the type of ship we are. So going forward, when we have that new Jem'Hadar attack cruiser, or we have the Cardassian ship, you're going to be able to fly differently with them, and they're going to have a different way of acting. Let's start up here. We do have tells us what our ship is. It shows us that it fires with 3 attack dice. It has 2 evasion dice, 3 hull, and 2 shields. On top of that, now we're going to have to go down the card from top to bottom and see what it's going to do. We'll first choose a maneuver. Identify a target based on mission orders. So the target for this mission is attack. So it's just going to attack somebody. That's the deal. It's going to find its target, range, and direction, then roll on the matching maneuver table table to the right, which is over here. So depending on where the ship is that you're targeting and what arc it's in, you're going to have to roll to see where this ship is going to go. Now, of course, it only shows things on this side. You just mirror it over on this side if they're on that side of it. It's not too tough. And then the next thing we have is we're going to perform the maneuver rolled, and if it's red, we're going to skip the action phase. Normally you would gain one of these auxiliary tokens, but the AI never does that. And it doesn't have too many of these red maneuvers out here. It's usually only the kick turns that it's going to turn it red, according to this. So let's go look and see where this Jem'Hadar is going to move. I've removed one of the ships from it so you can see where all these lines are. So you see the white lines here. Those are the different patterns of places where this ship could potentially be going after another ship. The purple lines here, those are its firing arcs. So if anything's in that arc, is going to be attacked. And of course, we'll be rolling the 3 dice. But to determine where it's going to move, we have to look at the white ones that are going around the ship. This is a big board, so it's hard to show you exactly how this is working. But if we take our measuring tool here, we can see that the first arc is right here. And if we draw the line all the way out, it's going to be our 2 ships are actually falling inside this front arc. I know it's tough to see because they're so far away, but as we get closer to each other, you'll see a little bit more how this is going to work, because you'll see the ships next to each other be super cool and be shooting each other. It's going to be awesome. I hope I win. All right, we're going to roll a d6, which the game does come with, and decide what it's going to do. I'm going to roll it right here and see we got a 6, so we're going to decide where it goes. Now, if you notice, there is 2 different columns that it can go with. The first column here is if one of the ships is within range 1 or 2 of this ship. And it is not, it is way farther away. So it's 3 or farther away. It's going to use this template maneuvering system up here. So a 6 does mean that it's going to go forward 2. When you're moving ships in this game, you're going to take your template, lay it against, you're actually going to hold down the ship. That's so nothing moves. It's a very intricate system where it comes to how realistic and how close you have to get this to precision. We're just going to move it like that, pull our template out, and it is done. At this point now, we have to figure out what the Jem'Hadar's action is going to be. So first, we're going to remove any auxiliary tokens. If you have any, we don't. We're going to gain a battle station token if you have a shot. He does not have a shot at anybody. So the next thing is we're going to gain an evasion if the enemy is within range 3. It is not. We're going to fix any critical damage cards. So if we look at our cards, I did not mention this, there is a damage deck off screen. If you take damage, you're going to be drawing cards from this. And based on whether or not you either get hit with this symbol or you get hit with a critical symbol, which is this symbol, you could have the cards drawn and have to deal with them face up. And they all have detrimental damage things here. For example, power disruption. I'll place one of these tokens beside this card, then flip this card face down. So that just happens to be one of them, and there's all different kinds. This deck is actually pretty big. And this is also going to count towards whether or not you're dead. You're going to take shots and take those cards. Now, of course, he doesn't have any critical cards, so he doesn't have to push them down. We do have this sensor token if none of the above apply. So since none of those did apply, he is just going to take a sensor token and place it next to him. The next ship we're going to fly is this one. Now, I want to say I have made a mistake already, and I want you to understand that basically, see the number here? It's a 1. The other one is a 2. And if they have the same pilot skill, they should be going in number order. So number 1 should have actually flown first. That's my fault. I was too interested in making sure that everybody understood how these things flew that I forgot to fly the right ship. So this one should have flown first. Not a big deal because there's really not going to make any difference in the first turn. But he is going to fly based on, again, his pattern of where the ships are. Now he's off to this side of the board. So they're actually down over in that direction. Again, being as big as it is, it's hard to get all of it right on camera and still have an idea of what's going on. So he is going to be flying with this particular pattern over here. They're 3 away, and remember, it is supposed to be something like this. We're just going to mirror this over to this side, so we're going to roll a d6 and see what we get. We got a 6, so if we look on our table, he is going to make a big bank to 3 bank that way. So we're going to grab our template, which is, there's 2 different ones that veer. One is going to have a big turn right here, and the other one's more of a veer turn. Now this one called for this particular turn, so he is going to line up just like this, hold down the template, and we're going to move him over to here. And again, we're going to go through the different actions that he can do, and I'll guarantee you it's just going to be one of these right here. There's nothing he can see. There's nobody within range 3. He doesn't have any damage tokens, auxiliary tokens, and he doesn't have to fix any damage. So he's just going to take one of these sensor tokens. I wish I had a sensor token and that'd be that close to this thing. Oofta, that'd be really good. My turn would be over. Having moved both of them, we're now going to go to the next pilot skill, which would be 2. That's our 2 ships. Now, of course, both of our characters have the same pilot skill. Going forward, though, if I gave experience points to this one's skill, he could go to 3 and this one would go to 2. And at that point, then, this one would have to move first before this one. But since they're the same, we can again decide who we want to have go first and move that person. Now they're both going forward 4, so it's not really that big of a deal at the very beginning, but as we go forward, it might. So we're again going to hold down our ship. We're going to put our ruler right up next to it, fly it into its new little place, and call it a day. At this point now, we are going to give it an action token, and we can choose to give it either a target lock, a battle station token, an evasion, or we can give it a sensor token. Now, again, we're going to have to see if we can hit any of these people, and we're going to use this range rule to see if we can. I can guarantee you from what I'm seeing on the board, we can't hit anybody. So it's kind of a moot point what token we're going to give him, but we'll just give him a sensor token for now. We're then going to move our Federation class ship, this one right here. We're going to move that one as well. We'll put our little thing, handy dandy thing down and fly it up there just like that. And then we're going to give it another token here. I'm not the steadiest flyer. I apologize. So you might see me kind of they might be bumped a little teeny bit, but that's okay. You get the idea. So we have our 2 ships have flown. They've gotten their tokens. That's going to be the end of the turn. And that is because, as you can see, we're going to take our shot marker here. It's actually supposed to be this side to see if we can hit anybody. And if we look here, range 3, there is nobody within range 3. Nobody can take any shots. So that's going to move us to the end of the turn. Since we haven't finished our objective, we're just going to start by removing all of these tokens, and we're going to start again in our at the beginning of the next turn. We're going to take our die and move it up to number 2, which is going to symbolize that we are moving to round 2, if I can find it. There it is. And if we look at our sheet, nothing, if I remember right, comes in until number 3. We don't have to worry about that. So if we look at our book here, we have nothing coming in until 3, and even then there's nothing. So technically we don't have anything until turn 3. Turn 2, nothing comes in, but turn 3 we will have a new ship. So at this point we are going to go to the planning phase, since the reinforcement phase has nothing to have come in. And I think again we're just going to fly forward with 4s. Let's go get these guys. hopefully we can take out one of these before that other ship flies on the board, because the more, you don't ever want to be outnumbered in starship fire combat. We already know that's usually a bad thing. So we've put our dials down, our planning phase is over. So now we'll move into the action phase, and we'll start again with the Jem'Hadar ships, but we are going to start with the right one, which is going to be that one. We're going to start with the correct one this time. And again, looking at it from here, we're going to see that this is going to veer out about that far. This is going to veer out about that far. So he is going to be trying to get to the people using this particular pattern over here. So we'll roll our dice right down here and see what we get. We've got a 3. So again, if we look at our ship here, a 3 is going to be right here. He's going to do a bank 2. So we're going to grab our bank 2 token, and I'm going to keep it a little bit farther away so maybe you can see a little bit more of how this works, because it's hard to really visualize where the ships are when you're not very close to each other. So again, we're going to scoot that right up to the ship. We'll see if I can actually do this with still being within the camera confines here. We're going to put it right there, just like that. And at this point, we're going to give it another one of these tokens because there is nothing that it can target right now. The next ship is going to be this one. And again, if we look at this white arc here, we're going to see that this ship is within its front firing arc. This is not, but it's going to choose this ship to see what maneuver it's going to do, because that's the one it could attack technically easier. So we'll roll up our die, see what we get, and see where he's going to go. He got a 1. So at this point, if we look at the forward-facing one, a 1 means he's going to go forward 4. So putting his template down here, forward 4, you're going to see that he's going to cross onto this asteroid here. He's going to land there. The Jem'Hadar are not going to want to land on objects like that. So in this game, instead of being stuck with the maneuver they've chosen, since they are an AI, we are stuck with the maneuver we've chosen. If we fly poorly, too bad for us. We're going to have to suffer the consequences. Now, if you do fly over a ship, a thing like that, you're going to have to roll the die and see if you take any damage based on the roll of the die. On top of that, you're not allowed to take an action because you've been using your ability to try to not get hit by the asteroids. These are all asteroid fields. So not to take any damage, he's going to prevent himself from doing that. He's going to do what's called veer. So he's going to either veer in this direction or this direction. He will always veer using a template 1 or 2 lower in retrospect. So say he was using this token and it would have landed on 1. He would then switch to this token, the 3. That banks farther so he wouldn't hit the asteroid. If you're going forward, they're going to turn to one of these type of templates and move away from this asteroid. And you're supposed to grab the one that is the same speed as what you're doing, but since there's no 4, it says the next one in line. So 3 is the closest we can get to that 4 straight, so we're just going to line this guy up and fly him over here, just like that. So he veered around that asteroid, and since there's nobody around him, he's going to take one of those tokens. Sadly, I didn't realize he'd veer around that thing. I was planning to drive up and shoot him. We're going to go forward 4 with both of our ships. I'm going to use this one first. He's going to fly up right here. I'm going to throw him around. We're going to fly him right there. Now, if we look at his firing arc, we can take this line right here and draw it out. He doesn't have anybody in his firing arc, which is too bad. I was really hoping I'd have had that guy to be able to shoot at, but I don't. So we're going to give him one of those tokens. Next, we're going to fly our other ship up 4 as well. We're going to put his little token, his little template dealie right there. Fly him forward 4, just barely missing that asteroid. Now, interestingly, his firing arc is a little bit different. If we zoom in, you're going to see that his firing arc is technically a 90-degree arc. Or 180-degree arc, I apologize. So he can actually swing out and try to hit this guy. So I'm going to give him a battle station token, or I could give him a target lock instead. It's up to me. Now, if we want to, I think we're going to take the battle station token, mainly because I have a plan. Probably not good, but we'll see how it goes here. And that's the token I'm going to take for that particular ship. Just to show you why is I think he is also going to be able to fire at me as well. So if I don't use this during my attack step, I could use it during my defense step. That's why I've done it. Now, target locks don't go away like the other tokens. So if I did give this guy a target lock and I didn't use it, he would keep that target lock until I decided to spend it. With the maneuvers complete and all the actions taken, we're going to move into the combat steps. When determining the order of combat, you're going to go from the highest pilot skill to the lowest. So the people that are better skilled pilots and captains have a better chance of taking out a ship before it may even be able to attack. So the first thing we're going to do is decide what target we're going to shoot at. We're going to shoot at this one. That's the deal. And now we have to measure from the edge of our ship to their ship. And he is going to be at range 2. Which means I'm not going to get any extra attack dice unless they fall within range 1. And if they fall at range 3 or farther, they would have an extra defense dice. Now, if you notice, this actually does, hit right in the middle of this particular line here. So you're always going to take the more advantageous point there. So it's going to be at range 2 instead of range 3, even though it is more in range 3. I hope that makes sense. Let's shoot at this guy and see what happens. Now, I have a 3 combat skill, but I believe that's going to be modified because I have this card here. When attacking with the ship's primary weapon, which is going to be the one that he's firing with, it's the first weapon there, I get to roll 1 extra attack dice if it's at range 2, and this particular ship is at range 2. So we'll take our 4 dice, roll them up, see how we do. We got 1, 2, 3 hits, and we have that battle station token. Oh, do we use it on this attack? Oh, 4 dice attack is a really good attack. I think we're going to do that. We're going to spend it. I'm not going to use it on defense, which I probably should save it for defense. I'm going to use it right now. We're going to turn this to a hit. So we got 4 hits. Now this Jem'Hadar ship only has 2 defense, so he gets to roll 2 dice, and let's see how well he's able to evade this. Hopefully he doesn't evade it at all. Oh, he got 1 evasion. Oh, that's terrible. So if we look at the card, he has 2 shield tokens right now. So he's going to remove 2 shield tokens, and he has a total of 3 hull. So at this point, I've taken 2 shields with these 2 dice. This one's been evaded with that die, so there's only 1 left. So at this point, he is going to take a card from the damage deck, but it's going to be remaining face down. This was not a critical hit. Now, if you did roll potentially, let's say we did roll this roll right here, and he had maybe had 1 evasion just like that. Then I would first remove this evasion, and evasions never take away the critical hits. Critical hits are always the last ones to be removed. And that's how that works. So instead, it would have been this one taking away this. These would have been the 2 shields, and that critical hit would have actually gone through, and we would have flipped this card over to see what happens. But alas, that is not how it worked out. So that's not actually a bad deal. We almost took out 1 ship. Oh, that was awesome. Sadly, now that that one has fired, we do have this one here, and he is going to fire at this ship as well, and he's going to be at range 3, just barely. Now, interestingly enough, I wonder if it is actually going to go through that asteroid as well. So the good news is going through that asteroid is going to give me an extra evasion die. That's going to be sweet. Now, of course, I'm sorry I bumped the ships over, but it's hard to maneuver around this camera while I'm working on the board. But that's okay. It's all about fun and showing you how to play. That's it. I'm going to get this extra die. He's going to fire at range 3. He's going to get 3 dice. I get an extra die because it is at range 3. Now, he does have this token, and that token allows him, when he makes an attack, that during the combat phase, any ship attacked by the scanning ship rolls 1 less defense dice. So I am just going to take away that die. He doesn't get that one. I'm going to remove that token when he attacks. So he's going to roll with 3 dice. And then I'm going to get the extra 1 from the asteroid, and I do get 1 from my ship already. So I have 2 defense dice versus 3. Hopefully he misses. That'd be awesome. I'm just going to roll all the dice at once. You don't need to. You can roll them individually, and actually you should roll them individually now that I think about it, because there's a whole order to how this goes, and I should explain this. The first thing we're going to do is gather up our attack dice, roll them up, and we got a hit and a battle station token and a miss token right there. And the reason that matters is because if you roll them all at once, you wouldn't know if you should use your battle station token or not. The order of operations here is you're going to roll the dice, then you're going to attack modifies the dice, and since he doesn't have any way to modify his dice because he only had that 1 token, that's the end of that step. At this point, I'm going to roll my now at this point, the defender can now modify the attack dice. So say it had some type of ability or a token that could potentially turn this to a miss or something, I could do that at that point. But of course, he gets to modify them first. Then I get to roll my defense dice. And since he's at range 3, I get an extra die, and I get a die for my ship. And like I said, he's firing through the asteroid, so I get an extra die. Because of that token, we only get 2. Hopefully I get 1 evasion. Oh, look at that, I got 2. Boy, I'm so good. that says here now I would be able to modify my defense dice, and he would then modify them after I did. So say I had this and I wanted to flip it to a battle station token, I could use my battle station token to flip it to that. I didn't have any, I've already used it during my attack. Then at this point, if he had some ability or something that could turn one of them to a blank, he could do that at that time, or something of that nature. At this point, we would then compare the dice. So every one of these would cancel out one of these starting first. Then we would cancel out any of the critical hits we had. Like I said earlier, then the criticals will be canceled out. If there's still, of course, any damage left after all that's done, you would start taking damage like you saw previously. And if it goes against up above their hull value, they are destroyed. And if you have the same pilot skill, they do get to fire back because it's a simultaneous attack. Now, in this particular situation, our pilot skills are all higher than theirs, so there's never going to be really any simultaneous attacks going forward in this game. We'll move to our end step and we'll just clear out the tokens that we did not use. And we'll move into the next part, which is going to be our reinforcement phase. And we are moving into round 3. So moving into round 3, it does say that we are going to get another Jem'Hadar ship, and it is going to come in with a roll. Let's see where its bearing is. We'll roll it right here. We got a 1. So he's going to come in over on this board edge. I've laid our template out on the board, so we're going to take our ship and put him kind of right halfway between that, just like that. So he's ready to go. If we look at the ship here, this is going to be a little bit more powerful of a ship. It already has a captain skill of 4, so it's going to be going first in attacking and moving last. It says here, when attacking during the modify attack dice step, if this ship has a battle station token beside it, I can convert one blank to a hit as well. So not only can he use the battle station token, he's also able to help when he has a full-on miss. This guy is going to be deadly. So we'll plan again, and we're going to plan on flying together so I don't die. I think we're going to try to get that token this turn. And so our Excelsior class ship, I think, is going to do a 3 maneuver in that direction. Hopefully missing the asteroid. I'm not sure if I'm going to. Well, I have not flown ships like this in a long time. Believe it or not, back when I played X-Wing all the time, I actually could pretty much lay out where I would go and miss those asteroids by like centimeters, or even millimeters. But not anymore. I can't remember how bad these templates are going to affect me. I'm going to also bank with this one as well. So they're both going to kind of veer in this direction and hopefully pick up that token along the way and maybe take out one of these 2 Jem'Hadar ships. Now we have to see what our Jem'Hadar ships are going to do. Our first one is right here, and those guys are right in front of him. So he's going to roll this up, and he's going to see how far they're going to go. Now he is at range 3, so he's still going to use the back part of that card. He got a 6, which means he's going to go forward 2. So we'll grab our 2 template and see what we can do with him. Hopefully he doesn't hit that asteroid. Actually, I hope he does hit the asteroid and see what happens here. So we're going to fly this guy forward 2. Now, interestingly enough, I think he's going to hit his other friendly ship here. Now, if these hit other ships, which, yep, he did, he's going to have to back up along his thing until he comes to where this thing actually hits, which is right about there. And he's going to stop. And if you hit another ship, you don't get to take your action, from how I understand it. Now, the ship would not veer in this instance because they only veer if they're going over an obstacle that would cause them to take damage. Now we'll see what this particular ship does. And again, if we look out from where it is, it's going to be coming out of this arc right here, which is going to be the back one right there. Now he is at range 2 this time. So he's going to roll this up and do a range 2 maneuver. He got a 5. So if we look here, the 5 is going to be a 3 bank in that direction. That's not a bank, it's just a flat on turn. So we'll put our template down and move him. He's going to move right here, which is fun. Now, he doesn't have a shot, I don't think. Maybe he does. Let's look. Now, one thing you can invest in when you play a game like this is a laser pointer that can actually go right off of these things. And I have a laser pointer. I don't know where it is. I lost my laser pointer. All right, so instead we're just going to use this. We're going to line it up. He does not have a shot, so he's just going to take one of these tokens here because there is a ship within range 3. At this point, we're now going to move to pilot skill 2, which is our ships. So both our ships are going to be flying at a bank formation. Oh boy, we'll see if I did here. This could be a disaster. He's going to fly in. Let's see if I can put it there. There we go. Oh, look at that. I am a master flyer. Boom. That's amazing. All right, he is going to take, since he potentially could get attacked by this ship, he is going to take just a battle station token. Again, maybe using it for defense. We'll see how that goes. Or I could just take a flat out defense token. Let's do that. Let's take a defense token. We're going to take this defense token right there. That's fantastic. Now, we're going to fly our other ship. He is going to bank in a little bit as well. He's going to bank in right here. And this one is going to take the sensor action so that he can potentially pick up that token that is just right over here behind that ship. This Jem'Hadar is going to move, and he's going to move based again on where he is. Now, I do want to mention, something that is actually kind of happening with this, even though it's way off screen over there. These ships are potentially kind of halfway between these two potential lines here. And to decide which way this one's going to go, it has to do with the facing of those ships. Now, since those ships are flying in this direction, it's going to benefit more from using this side of its arc here to decide what it's going to do, as opposed to the straight one. So it's going to use that one. Let's roll it up, see what he does. He got a 4. So if we look at that one, that is going to be the 3 bank in this direction. Now, hopefully he doesn't hit that asteroid. We'll have to switch up his maneuver here. But he's going to go in this direction. We'll put him down just like that. Fly him over there. He's just fine. And since he has nothing he can do, he's just going to take that sensor action just like that. Now, that is the end of the activation phase. So it states that I could spend this token to gain this token here. I'm going to leave that one out there and just grab another even one and throw it on my ship. So I've just taken the number 12. We're just going to put it right there on my card. And I now have one of those tokens. I could have had 2 tokens, but I'm a little worried about this fight right here. Now, again, we can fire at this guy and we can go in order of combat skill. And since they're both 2, we could choose who wants to fire first. I think we're going to have the Akira ship fire first. It does actually a better chance of hitting and doing damage. He's got 4 attack. That's pretty good. And I believe he's going to be at range 2. We'll take our measuring tool here and decide. Yes, he's at range 2. This also, I want to bring up that ships do not block or not give extra defense dice. Only obstacles do. So firing through this ship isn't going to add any defense to his rolls, as opposed to if you fire through potential asteroids. And these mission tokens also do not affect any of the dice rolls as well. I get 4 attack dice. We're going to roll these up and see how we do. I did absolutely putrid, but I do have an ability that allows me to re-roll 1 die. So far we only have 1 hit. We do get to re-roll 1. Let's see how it goes. I got a combat. That's not going to help me at all. So I only did 1 hit. Barf. All right, let's see how he does. He's got 2 defense he can roll. Let's see what he does here. Cancel out. Nothing happens. Our next person to fire is going to be that Excelsior class ship. And the Excelsior class only has a 3 attack, but he is at range 1. So he's going to get to add 1 more die to the attack. So he's got 4. Now, sadly, this is not going to come into play because it is a range of 2. So I don't get the extra 1 from there. But 4 is still going to be hopefully pretty good. Let's roll these up and see how we do. We got 1 hit. Again? Oh boy. All right, well, this guy gets 2 defense dice. Let's see how that goes. He blocked it. All right, this is blocking the critical. And again, I did nothing to that ship. That's terrible. Now it's going to fire back. It's at range 4, and he's going to fire at the one that's the closest to him. So he's going to get a range of 4 here. Let's see how this goes. He's going to roll these up, and he got 3 hits on me. That's out of control. I only get 1 defense dice. Oh, barf. Let's see. Oh, I blocked 1. That's awesome. So I'm going to block this one, and I do have that evasive maneuvers token, so I'm going to block this one as well, meaning 1 is going to get through, so I am going to remove 1 shield from my character. I have 4 shields remaining. That was pretty terrible. I did nothing to him, and he actually hit me. We have only 2 tokens out there that weren't used, so we'll move into our reinforcement step. There is nothing coming in on turn 4, so we'll place that back over there. We are on turn 4. Let's figure out what our characters want to do now, and hopefully we can maybe take somebody out this turn. That'd be kind of good. These 2 ships, they're flying away from me now, which is kind of nice. So we're going to do another 3 bank for both our guys so that we can kind of get over to that other token and maybe grab it. Now, I could go super slow and do a super slow maneuver, and he could maybe pick up a token. But I think just getting 2 tokens is going to be super good and get out of here. That'll be awesome. Let's just do that. Let's get, actually, no, I think we are going to go super slow. I'm going to make him go super fast. He's going to go super fast. He's going to go 3. But this one is going to turn at a 1. It's going to make him just go 1 because that way he might be able to stay within range 1 of this token here. Actually, I'm going to go forward 1. There we go. Just like that. If he goes forward 1, he'll only move about this far, and he'll probably still be in range to be able to get that token, where this one's going to turn, oh, he might run into him. That'd be terrible. That'd be super terrible. Let's just go forward 3. I think that might be better. We'll go forward 3. I think that would be the best plan. He'll just go shooting forward 3. He'll go 1. Maybe only 2. Forward 2. There we go. Sorry, I should have a little bit better strategy planned. This could be my downfall because now I'm going to have a chance that these guys potentially could come back around then in order to get me. It's because I'm going all of a sudden put the brakes on here. But we'll see how this goes. Now, another thing I could do is I could flip turn this guy backwards and start attacking. No, I think it's best to keep on going forward. I want to get to that other token. Okay, that's it. We're going to do that. Now let's see what these guys are going to do. We'll start with number 1. He's going to roll his die. He got a 1, and he has these people in this arc over here. So if we look at his chart, he's 1 to 2 squares away. So he is going to go forward 1. But he's going to hit that asteroid, so he's going to bank 1. He's going to bank 1 in this direction so he doesn't hit that asteroid, because he will avoid obstacles, but he won't avoid like other ships and things. So he's going to go this way. There is a ship within 3, so he is going to grab an evasive maneuver token just like that. Let's roll for our next guy. He got a 4, and these guys are all going to be coming out of the middle one. So the middle one is going to be a 4, is going to be 2 this way or 2 bank, depending on what range they're at. I bet they're at range 2. He is at range 2, I think. Let's see if we can slide this thing in here. Yeah, easily range 2. Whoop, move it out of there. So let's see what he's going to do. He is going to bank, I think. He's going to do this. He's going to go that way too. Oofta. All right, we'll see if he can do that with the 4. All right, we'll take the 2 here and bank it this way. He can't. He's going to hit that asteroid. So at this point, he is going to have to try to do a different maneuver. So instead, we'll take this template and see if that works. Nope, he's still going to hit the asteroid using that. Now, you don't keep going. So now the next one would be this one. That's not how it works. As far as I understand, when it comes to swerving, if he's not able to perform this, he would then perform this. If it still would put him on an asteroid, he's going to go back to his original maneuver and just call it a day. He's going to go right there. He is going to take a roll of a hit. Let's see what happens to him. He does not take any damage. It would have been super good if he took a damage, but he did not. He's totally fine. That's the end of those 2. He also does not get an action because he is on that asteroid. But going into the next turn, I believe he gets to take an action even though he's flying off of it. Now comes our super slow dudes. Don't know why I did this. This is probably a bad idea. He's going to move forward 1, just like that. And this one's going to move forward 2, I think is what I said. Forward 2, just like that. He is, oh, he actually hit that ship. That's awesome. So he's going to come back and just line up right there. Didn't know I was going to hit that ship. That's awesome. And our token kind of went flying, but that's okay. Our token's totally good. He can't take an action. He's going to take the sensor action, and he's going to use that at the end to grab this. Now, I still have 1 more ship to fly, but for camera purposes, it's really probably too far away to do anything. So I'm just going to do that right now, and then now we'll fly the level 4 ship. But I should have taken that particular mission token after I've flown that, because it comes at the end. But since he's way down here, I didn't think it was the biggest deal on the planet. We're just going to roll up a die, see what he's going to do. He got a 6. If we look at that, they are range 3, so he's going to go forward 2. We're going to grab our 2 template. He's coming at us, so I'm a little worried here. We'll see what we can do about this guy. He's the one I'm the most worried about. All right, he's going to fly in like that. Now I got to try to get this last token over here with both our ships and try to get out of here. We might have to try to take this guy out. Now there is another one that's eventually going to be coming in as well. Now there isn't any firing that's going to be happening. I don't think this guy's going to be able, nobody's not going to be able to hit. And oh, wait a minute. I think this guy's got a shot over here. Oh no. Even though this is on an asteroid, he still can attack. So we have to determine if he's able to. He's within range. But I do want to mention that you are going to measure whether or not you are able to have a target to somebody from the closest point on your ship to the closest point on that ship. So I believe this is going to be his target because the other one is going to be out of the targeting range. But so this one is not, but it's not going to go through that asteroid because the 2 target points are going to be this corner and that corner. So he is at range. I think he's still at range. He is at range 2, isn't he? Oh boy, he's at range 2. All right, he's going to make an attack. He's got 3 attack against me. Oofta. I don't like this. With 3 attack dice, he is going to attack us. Oh, yuck. All right, so what he did. He hit me once. That's it. I do get 2 defense dice with this particular ship. Let's see how that goes. I was able to block that, or evade, I should say, that attack. So we didn't take any damage. Whew, we got away pretty cleanly there. That's the end of our turns. We're going to remove this token here, and we're going to go into our planning step. We have to go to the reinforcement step first. We are on turn 5, so nothing comes in until turn 6. So we turn our die to the side, and we'll maneuver our ships. I think it's best to kind of keep going. Do we go for that token, or do we go for the guy? Don't know what to do. I think we're gonna still kind of go this direction. Hopefully things don't go too badly. I think we're gonna veer to the right, which should get me over to maybe about here. Or maybe I'm trying to figure out, or should I just do a full turn and put myself over here? But if I do that, I'm not going to be able to get to that token. I think we are going to veer. We're just going to veer 3 for both our ships, and I should be okay. Maybe I'm not. I'm this flying X-Wing stuff is coming back to me, and I should probably work harder at this. How do I take out that ship? I really think I want to get rid of this ship, but it is going to get to attack first, which is going to be really bad. I don't know if the veer is going to get me enough to attack it. I think we're going to go full on here. We're going to take both our... Oh, he's got a bad turn. Okay. He's going to turn 3, but this one I think is going to, he can turn, oh no, he's got a bad turn too. Yuck. They're both going to fear 3. That could be worthless. This could be the end of the game because I could be totally bad at flying. All right, we're going to fly with these guys first because that's the deal. We're going to roll up their die and see what they got. The first one is right here. Of course, they are directly behind him. So we're going to roll a 3 and see what he does. They are at range 1 or 2. So we'll look at the one from the back. And the 3 is going to be a hard bank to the way that they're potentially flying. So he is going to go a 3. Was it a 3 bank? Yes, it was. He's going to fly just like this with his ship over into this area over here. He's going to miss the asteroid, which is good for him, and he is done. Now these are going to be in the front arc over here. So we're going to roll the dice, see where he goes. He got a 5. He is going to, now they're at range 2, we already determined that. So a 5 means he's going to do a hard bank this way, meaning he's going to land on another asteroid, so he can't do that. He's going to try to do this maneuver here instead. So we'll put our little template down just like that, move him over here. He is able to take a shot. And since he's able to take a shot, he will grab one of these battle station tokens. Now he does not have a shot, but there is a ship within range 3, so he is going to take an evasive maneuver token. And that's the end of those guys. Now it's our turn. Both of our guys are arcing around this way. I'm going to fly this one first and see how it goes. Oh, it goes totally poorly. I should have done a different maneuver. Oh boy, they're both going to get shot. He is also going to arc in, and he's probably going to hit his friend because I'm a terrible ship flyer. Nope, I think I did okay. There we go. Now they're both kind of flying together. That's awesome. All right, I think he does not have a shot, and I don't know where this guy, he could fly up here, he could fly this way. I'm going to guess he's going to fly into my area to attack me, so I'm going to grab one of these battle station tokens. And I'm going to do that for both of my guys, because I'm not close enough to be able to get this yet. I'm going to take battle station tokens, and hopefully that will be good enough. Now, this guy is going to fly, and if he looks here, the pattern for this, they're both straight ahead of him. And of course, I bumped the ship. All right, we'll roll our dice, see what he does. 4, and he is at range 3 or farther. So 4 is he is going to go, he's going to go forward is what he's going to do. So we're going to grab a 3 maneuver template and put it down, and he is going to fly right at me. This is awesome. I'm probably not going to have a shot with one of my guys, but that's okay. I took the token anyway. And at this point, he is within range 2. He can fire at these people. He is going to grab a battle station token. As we look at the actions, the first one is remove any auxiliary. If you have a shot, you grab a battle station token, and he does have a shot. And his captain skill is higher than mine. So moving into this combat phase, he is going to attack first. And now that I think about it, I know this is a little bit of cheating. I forgot he's got an ability that gets him shields back if he uses an evasive maneuver token. So I would take that instead. That's going to be way better because he's going to be the one that's going to be attacked. But you know what? No, I can't do that. I didn't know he was going to fly over. I'm trying to keep my guys alive by cheating. All right, let's see here. He's going to be at range 2, and he's going to fire, I believe, at this guy because I believe he's going to be a closer person. No, it is range 3. Nope, it's range 2. Now, if he fired at this one, it would be, actually, I think this one's going to be a little bit closer. Is this one closer? Wow, that's actually closer. Huh, he's going to fire at this one because that one's closer. Wow, I didn't expect that. All right, let's see what he does against this ship. He gets to roll 3 attack dice against my Excelsior class ship. Let's see how he does. Oh no, look at that. Well, you never guess what he's going to do. He will spend his token if it's going to help him in any way. So the first thing he's going to do is spend it to turn all of these into hits. Wow, that was monstrous. I get to roll 1 defense die. Oofda. Let's see how that goes. Oh, no, I could spend my token to give myself an evasion. That might not be a bad idea, but then I'm not going to be able to use it to fire back at him and be able to potentially do more damage. I think it's better to take it on defense. So we're going to prevent 1 of the damage. So we're going to take 2 shields. We're going to remove those 2 shields. I'm down to only 2 shields with that particular ship. So we'll remove our token and we'll see if we have a shot. I need to see if we have a shot here. I don't think I do. No, I do not. That's going to be coming straight out of there. No shot for me. Sad. But he's got a shot because it's a 90-degree angle. And it is at range 2. We've already determined that with him. So I do get to roll 4 attack dice attacking against this guy. Oh, I hope I get all these hits. We'll roll our 4 dice, see how we do here. We got a total. Oh my gosh, look at that. That's perfect. Oh boy, please don't have any evasion. No evasion, no evasion, no evasion. Oh, we got no evasion. That was absolutely monstrous. Oh, what a great shot coming through. All right, none of this is going to matter. I'm going to do 4 damage. Oh, super good. The 4 damage I'm going to do, the first 2 hits are going to go against the shield tokens. So we're going to remove those 2 shield tokens. The next 2 hits are critical hits. So that means he's going to take the damage cards, flip them over, and see what happens. Now he's going to start with the first one, and he drew, and this one says, combat phase, you must roll 1 attack die. On a hit, this ship suffers 1 damage. Action, flip this card face down. So remember on the order of actions that he can do, one of them is going to be to prevent these damage, so he'd be able to flip this down on his action chart. But that's going to be farther down the line. He's actually going to try to probably do some tokens to help him shoot first. His second one is this one. It says power disruption. Place a red token beside this ship, then flip this card face down. So I'll flip this card face down just like that. Now, during the modify attack dice step, if this ship has a token beside it, convert a blank into a hit. That did not pertain because he had only the hits, so that was fantastic for him. He didn't get any misses. Now, he is going to have to flip this down. Now, he only has only 1 more left. So I could potentially take this guy out. Oh my gosh, that was an amazing shot. Now, there is one more sneaky guy over here. Let's see if he has a shot. He does not have a shot, but he was really close to getting a shot on my guy. We're going to remove our tokens because that's going to be the end of our turn, or I should say the attack step. We're going to move into the end step here, and then we'll move into our reinforcement step where a new ship is going to come out onto the board because we are now moving into turn 6. Looking at our book, we're going into round 6, so the Dominion 4th Wing is going to come in on a random bearing. So we'll have to roll that in and see where it comes from. We'll take our die, we roll it in, it got a 2. Oh, of course, it's going to go right over here, right on my guys. Oh no. Looking at the board, we still have 3 Jem'Hadar ships out there, and I don't have any more models. In this particular situation, you're still going to place the new ship. To do that, we're going to remove one of the enemy ships, and it's going to be the one with the fewest total shields and hull remaining. If there's a tie, then the enemy ship that is the farthest from the player ship. So he's the farthest from the player ship, this one right here. But this one has the least amount of hull and shields. So this one is going to be the one that is going to be placed in that new area. And believe it or not, that was actually super, super good for me because that was the big Jem'Hadar attack ship that was coming in with the pilot skill of 4. So instead, now this number 3 is just going to be a regular Jem'Hadar ship. But he does come in with all of his stuff. So it was kind of nice that that one left, but also we almost had that one dead. So here we got a new ship coming on the board, but the only thing out there now are pilot skill 1, and there's not superpowers on them or anything at all. So it's our turn to figure out what we want to do. And I think what we're going to do is, again, we're going to veer 3 over into this direction here. I know we're doing a lot of veering, but it just kind of works because we're going in kind of a big circle to collect these tokens, and we're going to try to get out of here. That's going to be the deal. I could decide to barrel right into the middle of this board and try to take out one of the ships, but I think veering is going to be the best plan here because I think we can get close enough to that to get another token. Of course, we do have to watch out for this sneaky, sneaky guy coming in here. So we're going to veer with both our guys. Hopefully we don't hit each other. And now we're going to see what these guys do, starting with number 1. And number 1 is right here. We're going to roll the die. He is facing so that the middle side is going to be the one we're going to use. He's more than 3 spaces away, so 5 means he's going to bank in at a 3. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. They're all going to start getting really close to targeting us. Oh, look at that. He's going right around that asteroid. Oh, super flying with a Jem'Hadar. That's awesome. And he is able to take a shot, so he is going to grab a battle station token. We'll go on to number 2, which is over here. Roll his die. He got a 3. They are up in this quadrant up here. So a 3 is going to be a 2 soft bank. He is going to 2 soft bank into this direction, which means he's probably also going to get a shot on my guys as well. This is not going well. They're starting to really circle in and take me out here. Oofda. Now he does have a shot from where he is. So he is going to take a token for his battle station. Now, I'm sorry I'm so panned out here. We'll get a little bit closer. We've got our ships next. We get to fly ours. I'm going to fly the Galaxy class ship first, or Excelsior class, sorry, not the Galaxy class. Fly him first to right there. And then he's going to take that sensor token because I think he can grab this token. Now, this one over here, I think we're going to forego the last sensor token here because I think we need to take some of these guys out instead. He's going to go and fly in right here, just like that. And he is going to, oh no, he doesn't have a shot here. Seriously? He has no shot? Oh, barf. All right, he's going to still grab, I think he's going to grab one of these tokens here because hopefully this guy flies in and I can shoot at him. That was my plan. Speaking of flying in, it's his turn now. Oh, it's not. It's not his turn. He's not the Super Jem'Hadar. He should have gone before these guys. So they were still in the front when he made that? No, I think he'd be over here. I think they'd be on the side arc. Nope, they'd be in the front arc because it'd be a half and half. We'll just go with it. 2. Let's see what he's going to do. They were easily 3 away from him at the time of when he did this. So 2 would have been a forward 3. And that's the difference. If you have higher pilot skill, you're able to react more to your enemies. Now this guy wouldn't have, but he would still have had a shot on those guys that were up over here. So he is going to take that battle station token just like that. Totally fine. And that's it. That's the flying. I apologize. I should have moved him first before I moved those ones. At the end, he is going to remove this token, and he is going to gain a mission token of the odd variety. We'll put that on his card. That's the end of the activation phase. Now we're going to go to the combat phase, and I get to fire first. Now, the only person I can fire at is this guy. With this guy, I can only fire at this one. He does not have a shot over here at this guy because my arc is not going to hit it. So what we're going to do is he's going to fire first. I'm going to choose him to fire first at that guy. I get to use 4 dice because I am at range 2 still. I'm not at range 1. And we'll see how we do. I get 4 dice, and I can re-roll 1 die. Hopefully these are all hits. Ooh, I like what I see so far. I get to re-roll 1 into a hit. Oh, that's 4 hits. That's perfect. Oh, boy. Super good. He has 2 defense. He's going to roll up his 2 defense dice. Come on, blanks, blanks, blanks. Oh, he got 1. All right, he is going to remove 1 of these, and he's going to lose 2 shields. Number 3 is. So he's going to lose both those shields, but he's going to gain a critical damage card because these 2 would remove the shield, and then this one would cause the damage. And it says, Warp Core Breach, planning phase. You must roll an attack die. On a critical, the ship is destroyed. Oh my gosh. Action. This game, ignore all text on the Warp Core Breach damage cards other than the text of this action. This ship cannot perform a maneuver with a speed greater than 1. Wow, that is a brutal card. Oofda. The next ship to fire will be this one. He also has pilot skill 2. I could attempt to take this guy completely out of the picture. Or I could fire at this one. This one is yet to be hit, which means most likely this one is going to be able to withstand all the damage and be able to fire back. I want to get as little shots of me as possible, so we're going to fire over here and try to take that guy out. This attack is going to be, is it a range 1 attack? It's going to be a range 1 attack, so I'm going to get an extra attack dice. We'll roll our 4 dice. Hopefully we can take this guy out. I only need to do 2 more damage, I think. He's got a total of 3 hull, and he's taken 1 critical damage. Come on, let's get this guy. We got 1, 2, 3 hits. This one I can't use. That's okay. I get to roll up his defense dice. He gets 2 defense dice. Let's see what he does. He only got 1. He can flip this, but sorry, buddy, that's not going to help. He's able to turn that to an evasion, which is going to get rid of this one. But look, 2 more damage cards are going to go through, meaning this guy has taken 3 total hull, including that critical hit, so he is done. When a ship is destroyed, you just remove the ship from the board immediately. All its tokens are gone, and you take all the damage cards you have and just put them in an face-up discard pile to the side. I also put the ones from the ship that was hurt earlier into that discard pile as well. We're not fully safe yet. This thing now gets to fire at me. Let's see what it's going to be at range 1. I know that, but is this one close? Yeah, it's going to fire at this one for sure. It gets to fire with 4 attack dice. It normally gets 3, but it's at range 1, so it gets an extra die. Oh my gosh, he hit me really good. I took 4 hits. I only have 2 defense dice. We'll see how this goes. Hopefully I can block something. I'm only able to block 1. So we're going to get rid of 1 of those, but look at this. This is going to be absolutely terrible. This guy only has 2 shields, so the first 2 are going to get rid of the shields, and the only thing left is a critical to damage me. I don't know. I don't want critical damage cards, but here they come. We have got ourselves, when this ship executes a maneuver that causes it to overlap another obstacle, the ship is going to suffer 1 damage. Now it overlaps a ship or an obstacle. Oh boy. Okay. That's no good. Now, I only have 4 remaining, and I can't get rid of this card. There's not like an action that can get rid of it. So we're kind of stuck with this. We need to try to get out of here. That's why I wanted this guy to get shot. But I guess on the flip side, he would have had the same thing happen to him. And he's even got less defense over here. Oofda. Moving into the next round, we don't have any more reinforcements coming in. We are at turn 7, so we do have to get out of here. We only have till turn 10, and then we have to flee. I think I'm going to forego this token with that ship. I'm just going to try to get out of here. I think that's the best, especially since I've already got a critical critical damage on my ship, and that's no good. Now, we don't want to die. We don't lose any of our ships. Losing ships is bad. Oh, but you know what they say in Galaxy Quest, never give up, never surrender. So we're going to set our dials. I think what we're going to do is we're going to do a 4 straight with my Excelsior class ship, because if I try to bank, I think I'm going to run into this thing. So he's going to go 4 that way. This guy, on the other hand, is going to go 3 this way. He's going to try to get into this area right there. Now let's see what our Jem'Hadar ships are going to do. This is number 1, so he is going to activate first. I am actually on the side. So let's see what he does. He's going to do a 4. I'm on this side. So at a 4, he is going to try to 2-bank into me. And sadly, that is actually going to hit my ship. So he's going to just kind of ride the wave here until he hits my ship. Let's, I don't know, horrible here. Now, in theory, there's a lot of different ways you can do this so that you don't like bump your ships all over the place, but we're just going to fly him up, and he's going to end up right about there. There we go, just like that. And he doesn't get to do an action. Next, we got the one way over there. And these guys are all going to be, if we look out from the side here, they're going to be directly in the middle side of that ship. So we're going to roll our die. We got a 4 again. The 4 on the far side over here is going to be a 2-bank in. So he is going to 2-bank in because he wants to shoot us. I don't want him to shoot us, but he could. He's going to move in here, and he does have a shot. So that means he is going to grab a battle station token in order to fire at us. Hopefully he's not going to be able to when we all get done maneuvering. Moving into our maneuvers, I get to go forward 4 with this ship right here. Totally awesome. We'll fly him forward 4. And we'll just do an evade so that I don't get shot. That's fantastic. And then he is going to do a 3 curve in like this. We do not want to end up on a ship or on an asteroid. Oh, I got pretty close. Oofta, that was pretty close right there. I'll bump that ship back a little bit. There we go. He's also going to take a defense token. That's going to be totally fine. That's going to be the end. The only shot that's going to happen is from right here. And I am not going to get shot, I don't think. Yes, he's just outside. Oh my gosh, that's so close. But I can still get this through without it actually hitting the ship. So this guy is not going to take the shot from how I understand it. And that's fine. That's actually really good. Man, that's so close. I think I'm going to give him the shot anyway, just to, I guess when in doubt, you should always let the AI get a shot on you. Besides, more dice rolling, more fun, right? This ship gets 3 dice to attack with, and that's it. So we got, wow, 2 criticals. Oh no, that's going to be really bad. I get 2 dice normally to evade, but I am at range 3, so I get a 3rd die. And so hopefully I can evade some of this. We'll see how it goes. Oh, good, I was able to evade it. Oofta! Oh my gosh, I thought maybe just being nice to him, I was going to get myself dead. Moving into the end step, I am able to use my card here. It says end phase, spend 1 of my evasive maneuver tokens on this ship to regain 1 shield. So we're going to do that. We're going to get back 1 of our shields. Why not? I need all the help I can get here. He's got no shields and he's got a critical damage on him. He's going to remove that token. Now also the rest of these are going to lose whatever tokens they have. At this point, we are going to set our dials. Our Excelsior class ship is going to go 3 banking just to get out of here. Let's see here. He's going to go, nope, not that way. That's going to be bad news. If another thing I want to mention is if you're not paying attention, you fly yourself off the map in the wrong direction, you're gone. You're dead. That's the end of your game. Your guy is super dead. So you want to make sure you don't do that. And of course, this one does have an evacuation, so we're supposed to fly off the bottom of the board. He's going to go forward 4. We're not messing around. Number 1 does have everybody kind of in the back arc over here, I think is where we got. The closest guy is him, and he's in the back arc over here. So he's going to roll his die and see what he does. He got a 5. We'll consult our card and see what it is. He is within range 2 here, so a 5 is going to be a 2 bank in their 2 turn in that direction. So he's going to turn himself like this. He's kind of got himself out of the fight. He's not really been much of the fight here, which is too bad for him. There we go. He's going to go like this. Now this guy, on the other hand, he's like straight in front of my guy. Oofta, this could be really bad here. He got a 5. Now I'm at range 3, so a 5 means he is going to go forward 2. Oofta, got lucky on that. If he'd have gone forward 4, that might have been a really, really bad thing for me. He's going to go forward 2, just like that. He's going to take a, what do you call it, a battle station token, just like this. He's also going to take a battle station token because at the point that he maneuvered, he is in a line of fire for this guy, but not for long, because my guys are flying out of here. I am going to do a 4 straight with this guy. He is going to go for a ride, just like that. And the next one is going to be this one. He is going to bank in over here, just like this. And I don't think anybody is going to have a shot on my guys now. And we're going to get out of here. I think that's going to be our plan. Then, oh, and I do have to tick up my die to an 8. I forgot to do that. There we go. And I think that's it. these guys, nobody's gonna have a shot, I don't think. Nope, no shot here, no shot there. We're totally fine. That's the end. I'll take back my tokens. I'm gonna set my dials to 4 flying straight. And I don't think that these guys could really do anything that's going to give them the ability to get to my ships if I keep flying 4 forward. That's my guess. So at this point, I'm going to consider this a win. I'm going to get these guys off the board next, well, not next turn. I think it's going to take 2 more turns. So it'd be like turn 9. And then by turn 10, we'd probably have our guys off the board because the board edge is right here. So if I went 2 forward 4s with this ship, it should be totally fine. He's going to be 1 there. And the next one would be off the board. Yeah, this thing was hitting the edge of the board. Yep, both my guys would be totally fine. Yeah, we made it through. Success. The fact that your patrol escalated into a minor skirmish with the Dominion is regrettable, but at least you came out on top. And now we have a clear picture of our enemy's capabilities. Begin the campaign, proceed to Act 2. So here are all the missions for Act 2, and here's Act 3. And you can play these missions in any order according to this. It says the next 4 missions in any order. Each failure increases the Dominion influence in the sector by 1. If it reaches 3 influence, the campaign is lost. Otherwise, proceed to Act 3, which is kind of cool. And then the final act of the campaign leads to one last battle against the Dominion for control of the sector, which is preemptive strike. So once you complete these 4 missions, so there are a total of 6 in here. The patrol that we just did, these 4, and then the final one. And for those of you that do have any attack wing, here is some rules about bringing in those ships. It does show that you need to have required captain skills in order to fly those type of ships, mainly because I'm sure they might have a little more power to them. So by this time, the enemies themselves would have a little bit more power if you're flying into with captain skill 4, because I only have 2 right now. So that's just some of the different classes that you can bring in of Federation ships. So there you have it. That is a taste of attack wing. One thing I didn't mention is we did get out with 3 of those tokens. So we gained 3 experience points that we can use to put towards any of our part of our ship, either our crew, maybe even our pilot skill, things of that nature. But we're going to be moving into more of this game later on this year. I just wanted to quickly show you what this game is to give you a taste of what is to come. And like I said, hopefully in August, Colin and I might be able to get some of this to the table and be able to show you more. Of course, that could change. We might get to it faster because this game's super fun. I really like flying around these ships. Oh my gosh, it totally brings back so many memories of how much X-Wing I used to play back in the day. Oofta, this game is super fun. I hope you enjoyed the playthrough. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell symbol so you know when more games come out. Also, please feel free to leave anything in the comments below. I would love to hear from everyone. If you're interested in supporting the channel, please feel free to check out the link to my Patreon. It is also found in the description of this video. Those that are part of the Patreon are shown right here on the screen. Thank you for all of your support. Being a member of the Patreon gives you the ability to watch some of our playthrough videos early without commercial interruptions. Also, the community is able to, on Patreon, vote for some of the people we play with. So for example, if there are multiple ships I could have used in this, I would have had them vote as to what ships they wanted to see flying around on the board. And on top of that, coming in August, I'll let them name my captains. I bet there'll be some really good ones. Again, thank you so much for watching Star Trek Alliance. And like I said, if you're interested in this type of game, I know X-Wing also has a fan-made scenarios. It's not a box set or anything like that, but I know they have some fan-made stuff out there that is very similar to this style where you get to work together to try to go on missions. Again, thank you so much for boldly going where no man has gone before with me in Star Trek Alliance. And if you're excited to see what comes next, then I need you to meet me at the table.